In this video, I want to show you how to trace a photograph, and I'm using the Bezier curve tool again. We'll bring in a photo of Elvis Presley. Some of you young ones may not know who he is, or maybe you do, but let's go to Layer and let's go to Import Layer, and I should have on my desktop a photo of Elvis Presley, which I do, and that's what he looks like. So let's just move that into position. It's the right size for an A5 canvas. I bought this from Google. All right, so the first thing I want to do is position the photo, and then what I want to do is bring the transparency down. Actually helps if the transparency is a little bit lower, because then you can trace over the top and you can see what lines you're making. All right, now let's create a brand new vector layer. And the first shape that I want to trace and draw is going to be his head, his face. So I'll take my Bezier curve tool and I might zoom in so you can get a good look at what I'm doing here. Let's zoom in. So, right. So I'll start from about here, and then very carefully, where there's a bit of a curve, I will press and drag, and I'll just trace around the shape of his head. And just, I won't take too long. I'll do this fairly quickly. It might be a little bit rough, but just forgive me. And then we come to the ear, and there's a bit of a curve there, obviously. And so around the ear we go. Now, because it's going to be covered up with hair, I can be a little bit rough up here, because this part here will be covered up with another layer, which will be the hair. Now, when I click on the to close the shape, it's obviously going to be black, because I didn't specify the foreground color. So what I can do here is I can go to the shape tool, the select shape tool, which is the arrow, select the shape, and I can choose a color for the face. Okay, so I might just make it that color. I can also choose the skin color if I wanted to. I should have done that beforehand, but that'll be fine for now. I can always change the color later. So let's go and let's just approve that. That's probably a bit better. All right, so there's my first shape using the tool, the Bezier curve tool. And now I will hide that, because I want to now create another layer for the hair. So moving it down a bit, create a new vector layer. Again, back to the Bezier curve tool. And then the hair, I might start from here, go around, and then this part here that goes in and out, I'll just do a couple of quick straight lines. And then we go around here. It's got great hair, Elvis. Fantastic hair. Bit jealous. All right, then we come around to this side, and just around here, it's got these sideburns. They were famous back in the 50s and 60s. All right, so almost there with the hair. And then we're coming back to the start. Here we go. And this will again be filled with the foreground color. Now, I will change the foreground color simply by going up to the dark area here. Select the shape first, then choose your color that you want. And now we've got two layers. And this is the way you would trace around the features of the face. So every time you want to trace something new, you create a new vector layer. So here we go with vector layer number 3, and I'll zoom in now because I want to do the eyes. So again, back to the Bezier curve tool. I'll just do some basic shapes here for the eyebrows. I'm not really worried about too many curves, maybe a curve here. And then back to the start, and then over here to this eyebrow. And then back to the start. So we've got the eyebrows. What I might do next is the shadow with the face, and do that as a clipping path. So what I could do at this point is I could name the layers. So this could be eyebrows. All right, now this next one is hair. You should really do this as you go along, and this is face. Now, so of course, when you put all the vector layers on, you can start to see the beginning of your shape. And this is a vector illustration of Elvis Presley. And I could play around with the colors later on. I can even edit the shapes individually. So if I go to the layer for eyebrows, and using the Edit Shape tool, I can move these little nodes around. So I can actually shift and redirect, like this one here at the end. If I don't like that one, I can just move it up a bit and correct the shape itself. So that's something to know. You can also change the color. You choose the select shape tool, and then you can choose another color, and you can see it changes automatically. So probably a good idea to do both eyebrows together, Con. So let's just do that. Yeah, there you go. All right. In fact, I think darker eyebrows will be better. All right, now let me look at the clipping path for the shadow. So I will hide these shapes, these layers, and you can see there's a shadow that comes down on one side of the head and forms the shape of the nose and then around the lips. So let me give this a go. I'll just zoom out a little bit. All right, here we go. So once again, when you're ready to trace, new vector layer, and this time I'm going to be a little bit crazy. I'm just going to go roughly around here, and then obviously there's a shadow that comes down here, straight nose. Now it goes a bit curvy around the nostril here, a bit curvy around here, and then it goes around. Oh no, I've double clicked. What have I done? Sorry, let me undo that. Let's start again. This is the problem. If you double click, you get yourself in all sorts of trouble. So let me try this again. And notice I'm ignoring the eyebrow because that's going to be covered up. All right, so don't double click, Con, whatever you do. Just press and drag to do your curve lines and single clicks to do your straight lines. All right, and then straight down here. This will be covered up with the lip anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. And then there's a curve here. And then over here, I can be a little bit crazy because this will be a clipping path, and I'll show you in a sec what I mean by that. All right, so I do want the black shape. I want the black shape because I can then show you how to create a tone from that. So if I now select the layer for both the face and the black shape that I've just created, I'll end up with something that looks like that, and then I can group those two layers together. In order to create a clipping path, you need to group the layers together. So now I'll go to Layer, I'll choose Group and Quick Group. And now that they're grouped, I can select that top layer, which is the black shape, and I can click on this Infinite Alpha lock. And you can see it's actually gone inside the shape of the head. Now, from there on, if I want to manipulate these lines, if I'm not happy with the curves around the nostrils, I can go select the shape and I can actually manipulate these little nodes. I can pull them out and correct them. So you can still get into the shape even though it is a clipping path now. Now watch what happens with that black shape when I start to bring down the opacity. Notice it picks up the color of what's underneath, and that creates a nice little tone. Now if I add the hair and the eyebrows, where's the eyebrows? Here they are at the top. What am I doing? There you go. You now have the beginning of a lovely vector portrait. And from here on, you can continue on with the eyes and so on. So I might stop it here, have a bit of a break, and I'll come back and we'll see what else you can do.